For about the price of a nice dinner, you can look like you just spent $100,000 in the sky. $35 to $64 an hour, that's it. And here's the part your brain isn't ready for. The plane never leaves the ground. It has no engines, no pilot, no runway. The window beside your head isn't even glass. It's a printed picture of a sky that plane will never, ever touch. Somewhere in Los Angeles right now, there is a room. Inside that room is the front cabin of a private jet. White leather seats, polished mahogany paneling, little round windows glowing with soft, golden light, and people walk in off the street, sit down, order the light to look like a sunset, and walk out with a phone full of photos that say one thing to the world. I made it. I'm rich. Look at me, 30,000 feet up, sipping champagne, while you're stuck down there. Except they never left the room. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand the exact machinery behind that lie. Not so you can catch the fakers, because that same machinery is running inside your own head every single time you open your phone. This is a story about a fake jet. It's really a story about why we spend money to look like someone we're not. Let's rewind to September 2020. The world is locked down. Travel has basically stopped. And a woman on Twitter, posting under the name Maison Melissa, notices something strange while scrolling. She keeps seeing influencers on private jets. Beautiful people, glamorous outfits, that unmistakable rich and flying energy. But something is off. The seats look identical. The paneling looks identical. The little windows look identical. Different influencers, different captions, different cities, same exact plane. So she posts what she found. Basically, hey, these LA girls are using a studio set that looks like a private jet for their photos. And the internet did what the internet does best. It became a detective. People started lining up photo after photo, from account after account, and the truth clicked into place like a lock. Dozens of separate luxury lifestyles, dozens of glamorous flights, all traced back to the same white leather seats. One commenter put it perfectly, writing that ain't even a real jet. Internet sleuths tracked it down to a single venue, a place called FD Photo Studio, which proudly bills its fake jet as the first and only one of its kind in the city. And the studio wasn't hiding. The listing basically advertised it. A private jet set, artificial window lights so you can fake any time of day, a makeup station, a mini fridge for your champagne bottle, no airport, no insurance, no permits, no flight, just a room, a camera, and the price of a decent lunch. For a couple $100s, you could walk out with an entire fake life. The whole thing became such a spectacle that even celebrities piled on to mock it. The musician Lil Nas X famously photoshopped himself onto that same white leather seat just to join the joke. And that's the funny layer. But underneath the jokes, thousands of people had genuinely believed those flights were real. They'd double-tapped. They'd felt a little pang of envy. They'd compared their Tuesday to somebody's fake Saturday in the sky, and they'd lost that comparison to a plane that was parked in a warehouse the whole time. And here is the moment I want you to sit with. Because your instinct right now is probably to laugh at these people, feel a little smug, a little superior. Hold on to that feeling. We're going to come back for it. Because this wasn't one weird studio in one weird city. It was a symptom. Fast forward, and a whole group of influencers in Malaysia got caught doing the exact same thing. A sharp-eyed TikTok user, posting as Kaki Koman, noticed the same trick. He stitched together clip after clip of these creators boarding a private plane, strolling the aisle, some of them literally fanning themselves with wads of cash, all on the same aircraft. And that aircraft, according to the reporting, never flew anywhere. They'd chipped in, rented the plane on the ground, and taken turns shooting content that made each of them look like a globe-trotting tycoon. Now here's the twist inside the twist. Who were these particular influencers? They were financial experts, people selling advice on how to get rich. Faking being rich, to sell you the secret of getting rich. Let that loop finish in your head. The wealth was the marketing was the product, and the product was a lie. If a good money con makes your jaw drop like this one, do yourself a favor and hit subscribe, because on this channel, the next story is always somehow harder to believe than the last. All right, back to the room. Now, to be fair to the studio itself, there's a detail that actually makes this story better. When a reporter dug into who really rents that fake jet, it turned out most of the customers weren't lying influencers at all. The set's real business is the entertainment industry. music videos, commercials, brand shoots. One employee said hip-hop videos are their bread and butter. The jet is just a cheaper, easier alternative to renting a real one for a film, which means the set was never the villain. It was just a tool. The deception was always a choice a person made. So why do people make that choice? Why pay real money to fake a life instead of just living the one you have? For that, we have to go back way further than 2020, all the way to 1899. That year, an economist named Thorstein Veblen published a book, and in it, he gave a name to something humans had been doing forever but never quite pinned down. He called it conspicuous consumption. In plain English, it means spending money not to enjoy a thing, but to be seen owning it. You don't buy the watch to tell time. You buy it so people know you could afford the watch. You don't buy the car to get places. Your old car got you places just fine. You buy it so that, at the red light, the person next to you does the math on your life. Veblen's whole point was that a huge chunk of what we buy isn't for use. It's a message, a signal fired at other people. Look what I can afford. And once you understand conspicuous consumption, the fake jet stops being funny and starts being genius, because it is the purest version of the idea that has ever existed. Think about it. A real private jet is expensive because of the plane, the fuel, the crew, the physics of lifting metal into the sky. But the influencer doesn't want any of that. They don't want to go anywhere. They just want the signal. So the fake jet strips away everything except the message. It removes the plane, the fuel, the destination, the entire point of a plane, and keeps only the one thing that was ever really being sold. The impression, the status. For $50, you get the signal with all the substance surgically removed. And that's the moment you should feel that smug feeling from earlier start to wobble. Because be honest with yourself for a second. Have you ever posted a photo of a meal you couldn't really afford? Ever angled the shot so the logo on the bag was visible? Ever taken 40 pictures of a casual, effortless moment until one of them finally looked casual and effortless? Ever checked in somewhere nice, not because you needed to, but because someone specific was going to see it? That's the same machine, smaller, quieter, more socially acceptable, but the same machine. The influencer in the fake jet isn't a different species from you. They just took the thing we all do and pushed it to its absolute, ridiculous printed window conclusion. And this is where it stops being about photos and starts being about your actual money. Because here's the trap that swallows people whole. The fake jet costs $50. But the signal it sends is addictive, and most people can't stand faking it forever, so they start reaching for the real thing to keep the signal alive. The real bag. The real car. The real vacation they finance at 19% interest. This is how people earning very good money end up secretly broke. They're not buying planes. They're buying the feeling the plane gives other people. And that feeling has no ceiling, because there is always someone with a nicer one. Let's put a number on the gap, because the number is stunning. A real private flight from New York to London on an actual long-range jet runs somewhere around $90,000. The fake version of that exact photo, around $50. Both photos look identical on a phone screen. Both get the same likes. Both send the same signal. The only difference between them is roughly $89,950, and whether you're willing to lie. And the entire modern influencer economy, and honestly, a huge slice of everyday consumer spending, lives right there in that gap, in the distance between looking rich and being rich. So here's the mirror, and here's the thing to actually do with all of this. The next time you're about to spend money, pause and ask one question. Am I buying this for me, or am I buying it for the imaginary audience in my head? Am I buying the use of it, or the look of it? Because the person in the fake jet paid $50 for a photo and got applause. But the person who quietly kept their money, skipped the signal, and let it compound, nobody clapped for them, no likes, no comments. And in 10 years, one of those two people is going to be able to afford the real jet and won't need a photo to prove it. Remember that window at the very start? The printed picture of a sky the plane will never reach? Here's what I couldn't stop thinking about. A lot of us are sitting by our own printed windows, staring at a life we're posting instead of a life we're living, buying the picture of the destination instead of the ticket. And the strangest part is that the real thing, the actual freedom, The money that quietly stacks up when you stop performing wealth and start building it is usually cheaper than the fake. It just doesn't photograph as well. So before you spend one more dollar trying to look like you've arrived, ask yourself the only question that actually matters. Not do you look rich? Not do they think you're rich? Just this: are you rich yet?